Okay, so I am live, I guess. Yes. Please tell me I'm live. Okay, I'm alive. I'm alive, but I don't know if I'm live. It's still. Come on, man. Give me the green light. Do I have the green light? Anybody see me? Okay. All right. So, yes, you guys can. Yes, you guys can see me. Why is it that my screen is not showing up on the YouTube? Am I playing? Can you hear me talking? Okay, so the talk of today will be um, wealth versus mega wealth. Okay, and I'm gonna warn you right now that I may private this video or I might delete this video. I'm gonna see the reactions from people and audience, and based on that, I'll either keep this video. I won't keep this video, but I think it's very important to understand, some of the things, especially that I learned in Sedona, Arizona, through Dr. Arjun Pai, through I team, through other scholars who were there talking. Like, why is it that, some people have wealth and some people have mega wealth? So someone may have, let's say, in their bank account, $20,000. I'm going to give dollar perspective because that's all I know of numerically. So one has $20,000. The next person has, let's say, $200,000 in their bank. Then the next person has 2 million and the next person has 200 million. So what makes a difference between wealth and mega wealth? Well, the very first thing that our mind jumps to is dhan yogas, right? Like, well, do you have dhan yoga? Is the second lord, fifth lord, ninth lord, 11th lord, fourth lord in relations to each other? Especially with the first lord. If they are, well, that's creating a dhan yoga. Is any planet exalted? Is any planet multrikon? Is any planet in its own sign in your birth chart? Well, that can bring wealth. Is there any planet exalted multrikon in its own sign in your Navamsha chart? They can bring wealth, right? So all these things that we heard. Then you have the Hora a year chart, which actually kind of looks like a normal chart, but it actually is a hard chart of, your wealth and how the wealth is made. And then you have something known as Indu Lagna in Jaimini astrology. So if you run through the dasha of the Indu Lagna, wealth comes in. Then you have things like Ashtakvarga score with 11th from Arudha Lagna. How many planet aspect your 11th house or sit in the 11th house? 11th from Arudha Lagna will also determine the status of the wealth, the ease of wealth in one's life. So all these scenarios we have learned, and then the one of the most important ones, like I have made just 2 months ago or 1 month ago, Ashtakvarga. Ashtakvarga scores, seeing Ashtakvarga score 11th from a certain planet, second from a certain planet, right? So that is some of the scenarios in Vedic astrology for understanding and getting wealth. But now I'm gonna say something, but I'm not going to actually reveal something, okay? Because, and that's the thing I'm telling you, I might delete this video, I might private this video, depending upon how people react to this. And then obviously Mercury's retrograde, so we all will have miscommunication with each other. Let it be. But what creates wealth versus mega wealth is 7 nakshatras out of the 27 nakshatras. We have 27 nakshatras, right? Out of them, 7 are the most prominently needed for someone to make money. And especially, this is why when you learn about nakshatras And this is why I always say, man, go to the Pi team, go to Arjun Pi, Satip, Togi, Eve. That's like the A team. Okay, when you learn certain things from them, you realize that, oh my God, it's not even the Dhan Yogas as much. It's not even the Arudha Lagna as much. It's not even Ashtak Varga score, but actually Ashtak Varga is there as well. But mainly you see that, wow, it is the nakshatras, the birth Navamsha, especially birth Navamsha and Dwara Damsha. But birth Navamsha, very, very importantly, the presence of any one of these seven nakshatra, and the more of these seven nakshatras are present, it will show wealth. It shows, because see, here's the thing. Someone can have debilitated planet and barely they don't have any dhan yoga. Dhan yoga is occurring in the sixth house, right? Of obstacles. Obstacles will be seen through making money. But the thing is, they make a lot of money. And in there's two factors that come in with nakshatras. Nakshatra and purva punya bhava. Meaning your past life deeds. How are your past life deeds? By looking at the past life deeds, there are measurements where a yogi, some very highly qualified astrologer, can see that this person is meant to get this much money. And Purva Punya Bhava is the fifth house, right? So fifth house is Purva Punya Bhava. Then fifth from the fifth is which house? Ninth house. So it's the Bhavat Bhavam of the fifth house. So this is why fifth and ninth house become very important. They're both Purva Punya Bhava. Especially the fifth house is the Purva Punya. And as you know, that if you have benefic planets in the fifth house from your ascendant, it shows that someone must have done something good. So even if they're going through the hardest time in life early on, they will eventually get the gains. But it is the seven nakshatras. And why is it that I don't want to say these nakshatras? The reason why I don't want to see these nakshatras is because what's going to happen is there's going to be a panic running amongst people. Like, I don't have this. Will I have money? And then I'm going to get like gazillions of emails. But why is it that I'm making this video? The reason why I'm making this video, so at least you know when you become old, when I'm 60 years old, you're probably 45, you probably 80, 70. Somebody asks you, I know you've been into astrology for so long. Why do you think some rickshawala is making 100 rupees a day while the IT professional who's riding the rickshaw is making 1 lakh per day? And they both have dhan yogas. What is going on? Why is it that this person dhan yoga doesn't come alive? And then you may want to give them like, well, his planet might be debilitated, exalted, this and that. You can cut all that out and just tell them, hey, it is the nakshatras that are present in a person's chart in the birth and navamsha that are going to activate at some point and give money. And the more of these nakshatras are present, the more there's a capability of making money. Now, one clue that I can give you is if you go to Dr. Arjun Pai's channel, his YouTube channel, Dr. Arjun Pai Astrology, which I pretty much keep watching them over and over to learn. You will see he actually talks about nakshatras and wealth. There, I'm not gonna say which video. It's one of them. You just gotta go and browse it. You gotta put that work in it. But when especially everything is like let's say you have a good dhan yoga, you have the planets 11 from the Arudha Lagna, you have the right Ashtak Varga, but on top of that, those nakshatras are present. That's, remember when I talk about the universe signing off saying, okay, you'll get the money without blessings of any guru, without doing anything. You are supposed to get money. It doesn't matter if you're a bad guy, you're selling drugs, you're killing people, you're a dictator, a ruthless dictator, you will get money because of this, what you did. That's all. I'm not doing anything. It's just your own deeds that are doing it. So presence of nakshatras, I'm telling you, astrology, everything about astrology is nakshatras. Everything about astrology is nakshatras. But why is it that also with the nakshatra, let's say you have two people with the same nakshatras, okay, and they're making very, very good money, but one makes 2 million a year, the other makes 200 million a year. Now, what's the difference? Well, this is where you have to consider Purva Punya Bhava. Whatever deeds this person did in their past life, they're going to reap the result of it in this life or maybe the next life. So even though you're suffering in this life, you don't know. There's something in queue for you, maybe third life down the line, where you will be a billionaire. This is why money, it doesn't mean nothing. You know, like if Bill Gates dies, you think its energy is gonna care for billions and nothing? It wouldn't even care. It wouldn't even know what money is. It'll just be either joined with the divine or will be taking rebirth somewhere, and that's it. They'll forget it. So, and then okay, so I'll give you another clue. I'll give you another clue, okay? I just don't want to leave you guys hanging about. If you really want to know, if you really want to help other people, you know, the number one advice I will give you, don't check your own chart. But of course, 99.9% of you have known your own chart. But read the mythology. Look at all the deities of the nakshatras and read about them in detail in Rig Veda. When you read about them in detail in Rig Veda, you will understand which deity is connected to wealth, abundance, and money. Which one is not? Don't go on the meaning of the nakshatras. That will not tell you anything. You will have to work. You have to study the mythology. The mythology, the Sanskrit literature, the Sanskrit stories, whether you call them fictional or real, when you read those stories, you will understand that, okay, now I see out of all these 27 nakshatras, why these seven? And then out of those seven, specifically, three of the nakshatras are extremely powerful for wealth. But see, the reason why I'm not saying that here, you're going to be looking at your children's chart. You're going to be looking at your own chart. You'll be like, oh my God, none of us have this. I guess I'll never have money and I will never, do anything great. So I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to spread that knowledge where it kind of like dampens a person's spirit. But if you want to know on your own, go ahead. But that's the little secret that not like some of the great astrologers who can see who's rich, who's not. They don't just go on the dhan yoga. That's probably like third option or second option. They first go on the nakshatra. Okay. So and I know you guys are giving me your nakshatras here. You guys are giving me and saying something. I'm not gonna say it. I mean, that's just it's not me. That I'm not gonna say that. I might say that in private. You know, I might say that in private, and usually I do too. Sometimes, if I am doing like a nakshatra reading, then I will tell that person something if I see it very strongly, prominently. But I don't say these things. So you shouldn't even want to know. But it's just something that I want everybody to know. When you try to learn astrology, when you try to teach astrology, and your student asks you that, so can you tell me what gives a person a wealth? And you're saying, well, they have to have a good dhan yoga, person has to, or planet has to be in this sign, this thing. Well, then they can give you our argument like, well, I have this, why don't I have money? Even the dasha comes in and I don't have money. Well, that's where you want to be able to say it like, well, gotta have these presence of these nakshatras. And especially, it's not like you have one nakshatra and this nakshatra. The nakshatra works in a combination. It's like a code. So when, let's say, out of the seven, two are present, but one is in the fifth house, the other is in the 10th house. Well, they'll create a certain code of how this money will activate, when this money will activate, because certain times a nakshatra says, okay, you will be a billionaire, multimillionaire, but it will come at the price of the death of your parents. Only when your father passes away will this wealth come to you. And that's not good. What are you going to do psychologically? Even if you love your father, you'll be like, okay, so I'm gonna go. I hope you guys don't do that. 99.9%, I hope you guys don't do that. But there are some people who have a really bad relationship with their father and don't care for that. Or mother, they'll be like, okay, so when's the time? Okay, now it's gonna activate. So how a money comes in, that also activates itself. So you gotta understand, because a certain someone's death, someone's loss. Like, okay, so here's a scenario. Um, there are certain combination which is so weird, where your mother's sibling, let's say you have an uncle, maternal uncle, it can show that when your maternal uncle gets into tremendous amount of debt, that's when your wealth can activate. So you may see these scenarios like your uncle is in heavy debt. He's in like $500,000 debt. And you hear this story as a gossip, family gossip. But what happens is, at the same time, you are flourishing. You're like, well, I'm doing well. I hope he does well too. Anyway, okay, I gotta go to my business, gotta go to my job, where I'm making all this tons of money. Why is it that at that particular time things became very good and active for you? Why? Because it was supposed to be triggered by a certain event. So very, very powerful. But the information, like I said, it's right there. Just watch Dr. Arjun Pai's video on his channel. You know, he is like supreme nakshatra master. I'm telling you, supreme. I mean, there are things like I feel like he probably still hasn't told me yet. He's so well beyond the nakshatra knowledge, and especially the combination part. Something that Eve is a master of. Eve Mendoza. He looks at. He doesn't look at one nakshatra. He looks at that nakshatra like a painting. Like, so, because she's not looking at planets or the meaning of nakshatra, she's looking at the deities. Okay, so is this deity friendly to that deity? Or that deity cheated that deity? She will quickly know, okay, your paternal uncle is going to cheat your younger sister in money at one point because of this and this, and it probably should have happened at this time. And people are like, whoa, how did you know that? Well, thing is, it's not the meaning of the nakshatra, what the nakshatra means. You have to understand the story that the deities were playing. All the 27 deities are somehow relating to each other in Rig Veda. They're coming across each other, doing some business deal, fighting a war with each other. They're helping each other. One is rescuing the other. Once you get this, that's where you get it. That's where you get it. And it's like, I got it. I got it. Like, how and why things are, being activated for a certain person or certain something. Like, it's so funny. When I was studying this on my own, it showed why wealth of Bill Gates started by him committing the act of like cheating or plagiarism, whatever you want to call it, where he took the, Apple's idea that he was working with Steve Jobs, and from that idea, suddenly the billions were made. If he wouldn't have done that, if he would have gone his own way to do something, wealth may not have been activated. The act of, you know, cheating had to be occurred for that particular moment to be active so that money can be made. This is how beautiful, like a painting, this thing works. But again, I'm gonna repeat that. I'm not gonna be saying it. This is something you just have to research, study on your own. So this way you learn. I did it. Once I just got the hint from Dr. Arjun Pai and Sandeep, then I just, on my free time, I'm just like looking at charts, studying it, studying the combinations. Okay, so the wealth started at this point. Okay, but why did it start? I know it started in this dasha, fine, whatever. But that particular event had to happen in order for that dasha to start, or in order for that wealth to come. Like, for example, if you look at Rajiv Gandhi's chart, his status, fame, wealth, money, everything was stuck until the mother would pass away. So if you look at his chart, study Rajiv Gandhi's chart, why suddenly he shot up? There's many politicians have sons and daughters, but why suddenly he shot up in less than 6-7 months? And suddenly the inherited of the wealth came in due to the fact the mother had to go, and also at one instant it also showed the sibling had to go. So those things can be activated. But see, this is why, and this is the level of astrology where I feel like, okay, a teacher has to be careful what they tell the world, what they don't tell the world, because there could be somebody with malevolent energy, malevolent intentions, who could be following me. We don't know. They could come out as nice guys, but internally they could be like, okay, so my wealth is now going to activate if my father passed away. Okay, and then they're going to start wishing for that. And that's not something that I want to be a part of. That's not something that I want to be taking part of, So that's where I just wanted to end this thing. But as you know, I've been on a trail of the nakshatras for the past 6 months. And that's all you need. That is all you need to really, really just say anything and everything about a person's horoscope and a person's chart. So hopefully this has helped, and I'm sorry if you guys are gonna ask me in the live session about some of your nakshatra. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna say yes. I'm not gonna say no. You gotta figure that out. You gotta take lessons. You gotta, like I've given you the directions in this video, what to do, and you'll learn it. We'll see it. It's not that tough. But again, you want to ask yourself this question if you do not want to be a professional astrologer. Do you want to know? Ask yourself that like 5-6 times. Do I really want to know what Kapil Raj is now saying? Am I curious? Now, I know I'm curious. I got your attention, right? Yeah, you are curious. You want to know. But think again, do you really want to know? Because what if you could be working on something so beautiful and you're thinking that I can make crores and millions and billions from this? Perhaps you don't want to do. You want to just work on the thing that you're doing. That's it. But then if you ask me this question, why are you then telling us? Well, because this is a channel based on Vedic astrology. I'm going to discuss things based on Vedic astrology, based on what I'm finding, what I'm learning, and that's it. But remember, like constellations will give you everything. And constellation will take you everything. Now, here's another scenario. Okay? Just like there are nakshatras for wealth and nakshatras for extreme wealth, there are also nakshatras for poverty, nakshatras for struggling. So, of course, I'm not going to say that either. But guess what? Some of the biggest people out there had mix of both. They had mix of struggle. They had to struggle. They had to work hard and not get any results. But because of that working hard, eventually when that other nakshatra came into play, it suddenly gave them what they wanted. So everybody has a mix. It's not like the richest people in this world just only have those nakshatras. They have every single nakshatras. They've got planets in the birth chart, Navamsha, Dwaralamsha. So please just remember that. Yeah. So anyway, guys, that's all I wanted to add in this week of beautiful Mercury retrograde. Okay? Now don't start retrograding on me now. Yeah, I'm gonna kick your ass right now. Straight from here to Mumbai, man. I'm gonna kick that thing's like make a bruise on it. Like a bruise on it. One on your ass, the other on your eye. So yeah, stop it. Just stop it. Okay? So anyway,